Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. Still a little bit chilly, so I'm still bundled up a little bit, but I don't have to have my face all covered up and be this ice ninja. So today, wanted to talk a little bit about a topic that, man, if you're not aware of these things, it's just mind-blowing once you become aware of them. But what we're talking about today is something that is so simple and so within your control. Yet most people give this up because they're just not aware that they need to be in control of this and be aware and pay attention and set themselves up for success. So the topic for today is the way that you show up speaks for you before you say anything. And so this is very evident in little kids, actually. Adults are better at hiding things. Kids are very up front, emotions on their sleeves kind of thing. And they will come into a situation and immediately the kid who's going to be a leader and tell everyone what to do puts himself in that position instantly. The kids who don't want to say anything and just want to follow whatever's happening accept those positions very quickly. Okay? And it's not because there's a set of rules that was given to these kids that said, How do you set yourself up? What are you doing? What are your characteristics? What are your interest levels? What are your skills? None of that is involved. This is something that happens almost without words. When a kid shows up and they say, hey, you kid do this and you kid do that, and here's the rules to the game we're about to play and whatever, that kid does that without permission. That kid shows up as a leader because that's how they operate. They're dominant. They're probably bossy at home, right? And those actions are just part of the emotional state and the level of mental confidence that you have when you step into a situation. And that emotional confidence, Rich, good to see you. That emotional confidence is based on knowing your own value. And when you feel that you can do well in a situation, you feel valuable in that situation. And you'll be able to go into that with a confident level of emotion that allows you to operate in a way based on how you feel, right? And this is how it is on either side of the coin. The way that you operate in the situation, in any situation, is usually based on how you feel. So if you feel confident in yourself because you've done something over and over, you know what to do, you know the steps involved, you kind of have an expected outcome because you've done it so many times, it's easy to walk into a situation and be very confident. Driving is a real good example of that. The very first time you try to get behind a wheel and drive a car, you're probably physically shaking a little bit. Your mental game is all over the place no matter what you try to make your face look like. You are scared out of your mind to be out on a road moving a multiple 1,000-pound vehicle and being in charge of this thing and not really sure how hard to push the gas or the brakes or how much to turn or how quickly do I need to start stopping before I run into this person or what do I do if somebody runs out in front of me? Your mind races with unconfidence. It's this insecurity level, and that's how you operate the first time you drive. And that's why down the road, you can be way down the road. They don't even have to have the stupid student driver sign on the car. You can see a crappy driver from a ways away, and somebody who isn't confident driving, you don't even need to see their face. You can see how they move the car. And so the way that you show up is based on how you feel in the moment. And when you get better at realizing what your own value is, it does not change based on a set of instructions. It's not permission that's given to you. It is based on what you decide is your value in that moment. So when you go into a situation that you have never done before, it's very normal to be uncertain and feeling discomfort because you're not used to whatever is going to happen. But if your value is based around your willingness to learn and to take on new information and to be a problem solver and to ask questions and ask for help and get involved in whatever will make that outcome go the way that you would like it to go as much as possible, even though you've never done it before. There's a first time for everything for everybody. And the people who can go into any situation, and you probably know somebody like this, they can walk into just about any situation and they can deal with it. They can figure it out. They're just fine. They seem bulletproof, right? Like they have this just unspoken shield that doesn't allow whatever the situation is to make them operate differently. And those are the people who realize their own value, and they realize what they are able to do based on how they've done it before. And this is the big point of this, is my life motto revolves around the way you do anything is how you do everything. And the longer you live in life, the more concrete this becomes. It gets really tough to change people as they age. And so when you go into a situation, if you tend to go into a situation as kind of a timid, I'll see if I feel good in the moment, I don't know how, every situation is going to be very tumultuous because you're not operating from a place of confidence. And so if you tend to do that, the very first step is to try and put yourself in as many situations where you can show up with confidence as possible. We do this by scheduling things that we're already good at, right? But there's going to be times in life where you have to do things that you've never done before, or that are kind of weird, or you don't know what's going to happen, or there's like a lot at risk if it comes out as a bad circumstance. And that emotion level and that state of mind that you enter into that situation in is crucial in determining what that actual outcome is a lot of times. Because you will do things differently. You will take different risks. You will take stronger focus and learning paths in a situation based on how you feel and what your intention is for operation in there. So if you come in and you're just afraid, man, I don't know what's going on, I'm just going to sit back and watch and hope I don't break something. Yeah, like you might survive, but you're not going to learn, you're not going to progress, and you're just hoping to survive. But if you're like, crap, I've never done this before, but this is something important I got to be involved in. I'm going to step into this and I'm going to take charge and I'm going to be involved in this. And I'm going to get an experience that's going to show me how this thing works, so that the next time I have to go do this thing, man, I'm going to be so much better at it. And that's what you want to take into consideration, is how many times are you going to ever be in this situation? If you're in a unique situation, somewhere that you will never be again in your life, all the pressure goes off the window. If you're never ever going to have to do this thing again, who cares how good you are at it? Who cares what happens as a result from it? But if you come into a situation that you know you're going to have to repeat over and over, sure. You want to put some investment into the emotion involved and the intellectual focus to learn how that works and what it is that you need to do to get better at it. And experience develops that confidence the next time you go into that experience again. And it takes away a little bit of that discomfort. And that confidence is knowing your own value and being aware of your own value when you walk into a situation, especially when it's new, is something that you get to control based on how you feel. So even if you aren't knowledgeable and experienced in something, that doesn't mean you can't walk in confidently and be involved at a level that makes you more knowledgeable and experienced for the next time. Whether you have done it many times or not isn't going to change how you do it the first time, right? It's the first time is the first time regardless for everybody. The only difference in the people who do well the first time and the people who fail the first time is usually your mode of operation, which is based on how you bring yourself to the table, all right? So guys, I appreciate the people who have the difference between confidence and arrogance locked down. Because someone who just comes in and wants to control everything and be bossy and tell everyone what to do, especially when they've never done it before, is like one of the worst experiences. Oh, I've never done this, but listen to me about how we're going to do this. Like that's That's not cool. Okay. And at the same time, somebody who comes in and has never done it before and they don't want to be involved and they don't want to ask questions or respond or break anything or whatever, it's also not enjoyable. So the person who goes off in the beginning with the control factor is operating from arrogance. This is having your value told to you by outside sources. Confidence is knowing your own value regardless of what the outside sources indicate. So if you are in a situation where you know what you bring to the table, I know I'm a good problem solver, I can figure this out or whatever, but also knowing I've never done this before. So I'm only going to be able to do as much as I can do in the moment, and I want to talk with other people who may also have a different viewpoint, see what maybe they've done it before. Maybe we can learn from this person and they can help guide the show and I can learn and blah, blah, blah. That different level of confidence comes out in your willingness to be involved, and your engagement level and your focus in the moment is a positive one. Whereas when your lack of confidence, you're immediately negative, you disengage, your focus is not there, or your emotion level is on the wrong path. Man, all of this is determined by you before you ever get somewhere. So guys, what I want you to understand today is, again, the way you do anything is how you do everything. If you get better at understanding what your own personal value is in the world, and you get better at reminding yourself what that is, and keeping that focus on that confidence level, and you come with a confidence level in every situation, whether you're going to work, or you're on the phone with your grandparents, or you're talking to your kids, or doing a Facebook Live like this, whatever it may be. When you understand what your confidence level is and you keep that at the forefront of your mind, and you start to show up like that, even if it's new the first time, and you're usually that scared, timid person, the first time you show up and you try to be confident, of course it's going to be weird because it's new. But the more you do something, practice makes better. Not perfect, it makes it better. But the more you do that, the more natural it will become. And then eventually you won't have to actually try to think about that. You just are a confident person. So there is no time like the present to start making a change, guys. You have the ability to choose how you show up every day. And the way that you show up speaks for you before you say anything. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have any comments on this. If you have questions, I would love to help answer them. I have a few techniques that I definitely use to help me go into each moment a little bit more confidently. So if you guys want to get in on some of that, reach out, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.